So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Miss Zulekha Zairin, the restaurant manager for Mamam Place. So tonight we will be conducting a showcase and testing on the and integrate, unified and task inventory management system for Mamam Place. So I will present the screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the login page. So whenever the user wants to access the system, they will need to enter their credentials first before they can access the system. So I'll just key in a credential that I've pre-registered. Okay. Okay, so this is the home page or the dashboard. Basically, here is where you can. This is the landing page lah. Whenever the users log into the system, so they will be greeted to this page. So from here, you can get a quick access to the three main component of the system, which is the inventory module, the task module, and the expenses module. Okay. So we will go first with the inventory, and besides the quick access, we can also access the other components through the navigation bar on this side as well. So let's go for inventory. So this is the inventory component where you can track. Sorry, we can track the inventory of your stocks through this page. So for example, these are some of the stocks that I've already keyed in before this. So for example, here you can see the details of the inventory. For example, cinnamon rolls, you have your details such as your name, what category it falls upon, the quantity, the price per unit, low stock threshold, and then you have your last updated. Meaning last updated ni is like when is the item last updated. It doesn't matter whether it's updated lepas dah guna ke ataupun lepas dah restock macam tu. So as for the inventory history, they will give you details lah. For example, if you restock it, then they will let you know how much has been restocked and when it has been restocked. Same for usage lah. Okay. So kalau let's say if you want to create a new item. Okay, so this is the page when you want to create a new item. So let's say like you want to go for banana. Okay. So create category under food. Quantity, let's say 70. Price per unit, let's say 270. Low stock. Let's go for 25. Okay. So then the banana the item will be inserted into the inventory. And then from here you can see the details that I've just created just now. So and then from here you can also edit the inventory. So let's see if the inventory falls below the threshold, say 21. You'll get a warning lah, saying the quantity has reached below threshold. Then they will say that you need to restock that particular item. Okay. So this is for the inventory module. So as for task, okay, so for task is slightly different because in this part there will be a automatic delegation, meaning once you have keyed in the particular details of the task and then your due date, your status, your priority, basically you can auto assign it to you can auto assign to any employee you want, uh, or you can just let the system auto assign it to any employee. So for example, okay, let's say the title is cleaning, or okay, let's go for cleaning. Okay, let's say clean the bathroom. Okay, so status I'll go for in progress. Priority go for high. The due date we can select when we want it be due. So let's say on the 6th on tomorrow. Okay, so assign to employee. Basically, here is you can basically have two options. Is either you can assign manually or you can auto assign it. So let's say if you want to assign it manually, you need to ensure that the particular employee has an account in the system so that their username will be in the drop down section here. Okay. So uh, let's say we choose employee group. So create task. Okay. So employee group was the sorry, cleaning. So this one, okay, so employee dua falls under employee Sarah Hadil. Actually, I just created the employee name, employee username just for the simplicity of explaining to you lah. It's not actually a real username. Okay, so another one is auto assign. So let me just show you. Okay, so Q is 6. So if we auto assign, okay, so if you can see, there's in the bathroom. This is the one that we created earlier. So and then I just created with the auto assign. So you can see that it's under different employee name, even though we've just created it today, and the due date is on the same date, which is on April 6th. So uh, this basically proves the point that it can automatically delegate the task to different employees, even on the same day. Okay. So, and then let's say if you want to edit, you can basically edit here. So let's say if you want to change progress, completed, save change, and then basically you will change your status to completed. Okay. So this is the task module. And then for the expenses module is the part where you can key in your uh, expenses details such as your type of purchases you do, the amount, the total cost, the date, and also the description of your expenses. So for example, if I create a new year, so let's say you want to let's say you purchase bulk items for July. July purchases 2025. Okay, so let's say it costs 4,023 cents. Then you can put this under whichever category that suits you. Let's see supplies. And then you can write in detail for the description of the items. Contoh. Yeah, for example, so for the receipt, so I made this mandatory so that whenever they want to key in a new expense, they must upload a file, in particular an image lah. It means a picture of their receipt or the receipt itself. So for example, if I were to create now, they cannot create the new expense because they did not attach the image of the receipt. So for example, if okay, let's say if I choose this image, create expense, and it will show you that the expenses have been created. Okay, you will go with the details of the expenses, the date it has been created, and also the receipt. Okay, and then also if you want, okay, if you go back to the list, this is the one that we have created, the one we just created. But we can also delete it if we want it, and then it will be totally gone. Okay. Okay, so this is for the expenses list. And then we also have a report. So for example, if you want to download the report for each of the component, let's say if you want to download inventory report in Excel. So if you download this, and then you can basically get it in Excel form. Okay. And then if in PDF, it will also provide you in PDF. Okay. And then same goes for task report. Okay. Okay. So you will go like this. Okay. And then for PDF goes the same. Okay. And then same with the expenses. Okay. Then for PDF, so at least PDF. Okay. Alright. So these are the reports. As for user management, so this is the place where only administrators like the restaurant manager can basically create new users your employees to use the system. So for example, here I've already pre-registered like a few accounts. So for example, if I want to add new, let's say, employee, okay, let's change another name. Uh, E, Z, yeah, okay. Go, Z, come, D, yeah. Okay. Here you can have the option to go as admin or employee. I will show you the difference between the privilege of administrators and regular employee. Both groups of users have different accessibility to the system. Okay, so just create a password and then create. Okay, so Zackery is already in the system. So if you want to um, edit the details, is here. And also this particular features is that you can actually activate or deactivate the account by just clicking on this toggle button. So let's say if I want to deactivate the account, I just click on the active button here and then just save changes. Basically, it makes this account unusable, but still available in the database. Meaning kalau contohlah, kalau employee tu nak pakai account, dia tak boleh nak log in. Tapi dia still ada dalam database. So let's say if right now dia tak boleh nak pakai, okay. Okay. So dia tak boleh nak masuk lah because it's been deactivated. So we go back to user management. Very active kembali. Kita log out. Okay. See. Okay. So as you can see, dia boleh masuk. They can access the system as usual. Okay. Okay. So kalau pergi balik ke user management, so basically adalah there's quite a few accounts, and then from this table you can see like the details of the account, like their username, their actual name, email, what role they are holding for the account, the date they registered their account, their status, and also the action. So for action here, you can edit user profile, you can delete it. Say if you want to delete this user, then you can delete it. Then it's completely removed from the system. Or if you want to quickly change the role of the particular user. Let's say if employee empat is holding the role as employee and you want to give the privilege of admin, so you can just click on this yellow button and it will change to admin. So to verify, go to employee empat. So now they will have the administrator's privilege. Okay. So and then after that, okay, and after that, that's pretty much for user management. And then after that, you have user activity, where it will log the users how do you say, the users login and log out activities. So this is purely for security reasons, just so that you have a trace of the users activity. So you have your like username, your login or log out action, your timestamp, and also the IP address. The IP address is the same because I'm demonstrating this on a local machine. So let's say if this system was deployed to the cloud, you have a different IP address. Okay, so and then here you can also search for the particular username if you like. Okay, so like I said just now, admin and employee will have different privileges. So for example, Haziq Arman here, or employee empat currently holds as admin. So let's say if we were to go with an employee account, employee tiga, employee tiga. Okay, so employee tiga holds the role as employee. They do not have access to user management. This is because that particular page is exclusively made for the administrators. Only they are able to create new users, edit user profiles, or look into the user's recent activity. So that is also part of the security control, also known as role-based access control. And then, oh yes, and another thing is usually, for example, if you were to use a system for some time and then you were to become idle for some period of time, the system will prompt a warning saying that it will log out of the system. So in this case, I set the system to be uh, so that it will be active for 10 minutes. Once this 10 minutes, let's say a user becomes stagnant for 10 minutes or more, the system will lock itself out of the not the system, sorry, the user will lock itself out from the system. And this is also part of the security control to ensure that there are no malicious attack or security breaches into the system. Okay, so I believe that will be all for me to present on this system. And then also I forgot to mention that this system in its entirety is developed using Python, the programming language Python, alongside with its web framework Django. And then for database, I use my SQL, which is popular my database management system. Okay, so I think I've covered most, if not all part of the system. So, Miss Zari, do you have anything else to comment or questions?
So far, no. I think this is a very good system. It's very impressive. I've never seen something like this before. And if this were to be implemented in a company, it would be very helpful lah.
Mhm. Do you
No comment.
think?
Everything is very it's very much user friendly, and easy to understand, especially for someone who's not really like a like IT or computer tech punya macam orang kan, because I have staff that uh that has macam tak habis sekolah semua, so dorang yang sometimes they have to use this system, so it's still easy for them to understand lah. It doesn't, you don't really have to have an experience to hold a laptop or a tablet or something to use this. Yeah,
Mhm.
good job.
Okay. So do you think there's any improvement that can be made?
No, I think because what you did was all based on what I've been like missing, and all the problems that I've been facing in the company. So I think nothing to improve. I think everything is all good. Yeah.
Okay, I
Yep.
see. Okay, and I also forgot to mention, since the system was also meant to include security aspects,
Mhm.
like protection from cyber threats, like most commonly like DDoS attack, SQL injection, those kind of
Mhm.
attack. So I don't think it's appropriate for me to demonstrate those kind of attack to you now, because the process to conduct the attack is quite tedious and long.
Mhm.
So I will just mention it to you that there is implementation on those security aspects in the system,
Mhm.
and uh, yeah, I just wanted to let you know about that lah.
Okay,
Okay,
that's well
so
noted.
I think that concludes for this showcase and testing. So I think that will be all for tonight.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.